In a bustling little town, lived a man named Vikram who was famous for his sweets. His shop, Vikram's Sweet Haven, was a paradise of colorful, sugary treats. Vikram was a master at his craft, but he had a secret ingredient he never told anyone about. A spoonful of greed in every batch. He loved money more than anything, and his greatest joy was watching his coin purse grow fatter each day. One sunny morning, a young boy named Rohan, with eyes wide with wonder, walked into the shop. He had been saving his pocket money for weeks to buy his favorite sweet, the gulab jamun. He approached the counter, his small hand clutching a handful of coins. Mr. Vikram, he said politely, you would like to buy one gulab jamun, please? Vikram looked at the small pile of coins and then at the boy. A mischievous thought popped into his head. Ah, young Rohan, of course, he said with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He picked up the smallest, most misshapen gulab jamun from the tray. Here you are, the best in town. Rohan's face fell a little. He had dreamed of a big, juicy, perfectly round gulab jamun, but he was too shy to say anything. He paid his coins, took the tiny sweet, and he walked out, his shoulders slumped. Vikram, meanwhile, chuckled to himself, pleased with the extra profit he'd made. This became Vikram's little game. He would give smaller portions to children, use slightly cheaper ingredients for regular customers, and he always find a way to make an extra penny. His business was booming, but the smiles on his customers' faces were becoming rarer. People started whispering about how Vikram's sweets weren't as good as they used to be, and how his scales seemed a bit friendly to his side. One day, a mysterious old woman, wrapped in a simple shawl, entered his shop. Her eyes twinkled with a strange light. I have heard your sweets are legendary, she sighed, her voice raspy but kind. I wish to buy your entire stock for a grand village feast. Vikram's eyes nearly popped out of his head. His entire stock. He could almost hear the clinking of thousands of coins. This was the biggest sale of his life. His mind went into overdrive. He quickly calculated the price, adding a generous special occasion fee, and then some more, just because he could. It will be a hefty sum, Vikram declared, rubbing his hands together. But for such a noble cause, you will get the finest sweets in the entire region. The old woman simply nodded and handed him a heavy bag of gold coins without even bargaining. Vikram was ecstatic. He had never seen so much gold in his life. He worked through the night, his greed fueling his energy. But as he worked, he couldn't resist his old habits. He used a little less puree here, a bit more sugar syrup, sir, and he made each sweet just a fraction smaller than usual. After all, with so many sweets, who would notice? The next morning, the old woman arrived with a large cart. Vikram proudly loaded all the sweets, his heart pounding with joy. As she was about to leave, the old woman turned to him. Kind sir, she said, as a token of my gratitude for your hard work, I have a gift for you. She handed him a beautifully carved wooden box. Do not open it until the sun sets, she instructed. This box holds something you desire more than anything. Vikram's mind raced. More gold, jewels, a magical recipe? He could hardly contain his excitement. He thanked her profusely and he watched as her cart disappeared down the road. The rest of the day was agony. He clutched the box, imagining the treasures within. He closed his shop early, too excited to deal with customers. Finally, the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. With trembling hands, Vikram unlatched the wooden box. He lifted the lid, his eyes wide with anticipation. But instead of gold or jewels, the box was filled with his own sweets. They were the very same ones he had sold to the old woman. But something was different. The gulab jamuns were tiny and shriveled. The laddus were crumbly and dry. The burfis were thin and tasteless. They were a perfect reflection of his own greed. Vikram was confused. Why would she give his own sweets back to him? Then, he picked one up. As he bit into a laddu, a strange sensation washed over him. He felt the disappointment of young Rohan, the frustration of a mother who got less than she paid for, the quiet anger of a festival goer who felt cheated. With every bite, he tasted not the sweetness of sugar, but the bitterness of his own dishonesty. He ate one sweet after another, and with each one, he experienced the feelings of every customer he had ever shortchanged. It was a horrifying meal of regret and shame. He finally understood. The box didn't contain wealth, it contained a lesson. The next morning, a changed Vikram opened his shop. When young Rohan came in, Vikram greeted him with a genuine, warm smile. He picked out the largest, juiciest gulab jamun from the tray. Andy placed it in the boy's hand. This one is on the house, Rohan, he said softly. Rohan's eyes lit up, a bright, beautiful smile spreading across his face. Andy at that moment, Vikram felt a joy far greater than any bag of gold could ever give him. From that day on, Vikram's sweet hairpin became famous not just for its delicious sweets, but for the generosity and the honesty of its owner. He learned that the true sweetness in life comes not from what you get, but from what you give. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. See you next time.